Nobody, and we mean nobody, was ready for what just aired on live TV. What was supposed to be a routine reunion special turned into the most jaw-dropping scandal in Love and Hip Hop history. Cameras caught Rashida's face the moment she learned Kirk Frost had not only been sneaking around with Jasmine again, but had secretly married her months ago. Yes, you heard that right. A whole marriage behind Rashida's back. The audience went silent. Cast members froze. And Rashida. She stood up and whispered, "You married her." Before the screen cut to black, but what really happened behind the scenes? How long was Kirk hiding it? And how did Jasmine keep it all under wraps until now? Fans are demanding answers. Social media is in meltdown mode, and the Frost Empire may never recover from this betrayal. Buckle up, because the lies are unraveling fast. It was supposed to be just another reunion, taping a little shade, some tears, a few classic clapbacks. The cast of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, had gathered in a glittering studio lit by soft gold. Lights and a buzzing energy that hinted at trouble. Fans were tuned in, ready for mess. But no one expected the storm that was brewing just behind the curtains. Rasheeda arrived looking like royalty. A crimson bodycon dress, sharp heels, and eyes that told the world she wasn't here to play. Kirk followed closely behind, flashing. His usual grin like everything was fine. The tension between them was subtle but undeniable. The kind of coldness that camera lenses can't hide. They sat inches apart, yet it felt like miles. Even the crew noticed how Kirk avoided eye contact, shifting in his seat like he had something to confess but wasn't ready for the world to hear it. "I'm here to clear the air," Rashida told producers in her confessional before taking her seat. "And if Kirk got anything else he's hiding, tonight's the night." Her voice was strong, but her eyes carried the weight of years of betrayal. Cover-ups and second chances stretched to thin. Little did she know the truth was about to explode. The show opened with lighthearted banter between the cast: Scrappy, Bambi, Carly Red, Young Jock, Spice, and others, tossing playful jabs and laughter. Jasmine was seated far off to the side, calm and quiet. Too quiet? Her body language composed. But her eyes flickered toward Kirk every few seconds. Almost like they shared a secret. And, in fact, they did. "Let's talk about growth," the host, Big Tigger, said with a smirk. "Kirk, Rashida, y'all been through a lot. Where do things stand right now?" Rashida took a breath. "We co-parent. We run our businesses. And we try to stay respectful, but trust." She paused. "That's a whole different thing." The audience clapped. Kirk nodded, putting on his best supportive husband's face. The kind of face he'd worn so many times before. One that looked presentable for TV, but behind the smile was always hiding something. But Jasmine's lips twitched. Was that a smirk? What the viewers didn't know yet was that Jasmine had shown up to the taping with a new kind of confidence. Something had changed. She wasn't just here to argue or defend herself. She was holding something back. Something big. Backstage, during hair and makeup, producers noticed her acting different. "You good?" one asked while adjusting her mic. Jasmine simply smiled. "Oh, I'm more than good. Let's just say I'm finally getting what I deserve." Her assistant whispered something in her ear, then slipped a sealed envelope into her purse. "You gonna open that on set?" The assistant asked, eyebrow raised. "Only if they push me." Jasmine replied with a wink and a confidence that felt unshakable. During the commercial breaks, Rashida started noticing the little signs. Jasmine was calm to calm. Kirk was jittery, kept checking his phone, avoiding eye contact, and whispering to producers. At one point, he even left the stage for a bathroom break and didn't return for nearly 10 minutes. When he came back, he had that nervous smile plastered on his face, and he refused to look Rashida in the eyes. He kept fixing his mic, looking at the floor, tapping his knee with his fingers like his mind was somewhere else completely. "You okay?" she finally asked him during a low mic moment. "Yeah," Kirk mumbled, "just thinking about stuff." But Rashida knew Kirk. And she knew when he was lying. Her gut had screamed at her before, and it was screaming again now, but this time, the truth was about to come crashing down in real time. Meanwhile, Twitter was catching fire at LHHATL. Jasmine to calm tonight. She hiding something. At reunion queen, why Kirk acting like he bout to pass out LMAO at Rashida? I'm scared. His energy is wild. Something coming, y'all. Even the show's editors didn't expect what was about to drop because just as segment 3 was wrapping up, Jasmine lifted her mic and asked to speak. Before we wrap, Jasmine said calmly, I just want to be real. I've been quiet for a long time. I let people drag me, call me names, treat me like I'm just the side chick. But the truth is, crowd leaned in. Rashida blinked. Kirk froze. I'm not just Kirk's ex. I'm not just his baby mama. I'm his wife. Silence. The entire studio went still. Even the crew behind the camera stared, mouths open as if someone had hit pause on reality. What the hell you just say? Rashida asked, standing. Halfway out her seat, you heard me, Jasmine said, reaching into her purse. You want proof? She pulled out the sealed envelope. Inside, a marriage license. Dated 6 months ago. Signed and notarized. Official, legal, undeniable. Big Tigger's mouth dropped open. Wait, this real? Real as it gets, Jasmine said, sliding the envelope toward him. I've been holding my tongue, but I'm tired of hiding. We married, we did it quietly. Kirk didn't want drama, but I'm not ashamed. The room erupted. Gasps, screams, shocked laughter. Scrappy whispered, Yo, what the F asterisk? Asterisk K. While Bambi held her hands over her mouth in disbelief. Spice mouthed nah from across the stage within seconds. Producers shouted, cut. Someone ran out to try and block the camera, but the damage was already done. The cameras were rolling, the internet was watching. The clip was already screen recorded, already viral. Already reshaping the entire love and hip-hop timeline. Rasheeda stared at the document as Jasmine handed it to the host. This can't be real, Rashida whispered. Some faked this Photoshop. But Kirk didn't say a word. He didn't deny it. He didn't scream, it's a lie. He just lowered his head. Rashida looked at him, her face blank. Her body shaking, one hand over her mouth. The other gripping the edge of her chair. Kirk, say something, but Kirk said nothing. And just like that, the reunion was no longer about a cast update. It had become a betrayal broadcast to millions. A heartbreak so raw, so public, that it left even the messiest cast members in silence. And Rashida. She hadn't even started yet. The tears, the rage, the confrontation. That was still coming. The room was spinning. Rash sat frozen. The marriage. Certificate still clutched in her hand like it burned. The pages shook between her fingers. All she could hear was the hum of the studio lights and the blood rushing to her head. The audience was dead silent, stunned beyond words. Even the usually rowdy cast members didn't dare make a sound. It felt like the oxygen had been sucked out of the building. Kirk still hadn't said a word. He sat slumped in his seat, rubbing his hands together nervously, eyes glued to the floor. He wouldn't look at Jasmine. He wouldn't look at Rashida. He wouldn't even look at the cameras. The host cleared his throat, trying to regain some control of the moment. Kirk, are you confirming this is true? A beat. Kirk inhaled. Finally, he spoke, barely above a whisper. Yeah, it's true. Those 3 words shattered our ASHEEDA. Her entire body recoiled. She dropped the certificate like it was, laced with poison. The tears didn't fall yet, not because they weren't there, but because her anger held them back. She stood up slowly, eyes locked on Kirk with a rage that sent chills down the room. You married her. Her voice cracked, but the fury was crystal clear. You really stood somewhere in front of somebody and said vows. To Jasmine? It wasn't like that, Kirk said quickly, desperate now. It wasn't planned. It just happened. It was a courthouse thing. We didn't tell nobody. So you just, what? Rashida threw her hands up. You woke up one morning and said, I think I'll betray the woman who held me down for 20 years. AGAIN, and go marry the same girl who broke our family. He tried to reach out, but she stepped back. Don't touch me. Jasmine stayed seated, her arms folded tightly, watching the meltdown she knew would come. The way she looked at Rashida, it wasn't smug. Not quite. It was. More like pity. Like she knew Rashida had been played. And now she was just watching her realize it in real time. The cameras were still rolling. Producers didn't cut this time. They let it ride. They knew this wasn't just television. This was history and social media. Was In Flames. At Reality Tea Queen. Nah. Kirk really married Jasmine. Rashida about to burn that whole studio down. Spill with him. I'm shaking. I've watched LHHATL since season 1. This is the wildest moment ever. Add Big Mud Bambi. You can literally see the heartbreak. This ain't just drama. It's really hurting. Rashida turned to Jasmine, her voice shaking but deadly calm. How long have y'all been hiding this? Jasmine shrugged. Got married 6 months ago. Vegas, private. No guests. Kirk said it was time we made things official. Official, Rashida laughed bitterly. So what the hell was I? Unofficial business? The mother of your kids? Your brand partner? Your free therapist? Your public cover? Rashida, please, Kirk begged. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. Oh, you didn't. She stepped toward him. 'Cause it kind of seems like y'all planned this. She brought the receipt. She brought the nerve. And you brought the silence. Jasmine cut in. You always act like you so perfect, like Kirk only ever messed up with me. But you and I both know your marriage was dead long before I showed up. Kirk just stopped pretending. Rashida's head snapped toward her. Girl, don't play with me. I'm not, Jasmine replied. I'm just saying the part nobody else will. Bambi whispered to Scrappy off mic. Yo, she bold. I woulda got snatched already. This isn't about you, Rashida, barked at Jasmine. This is about him. This coward sitting here like he ain't destroyed everything for the second time. I didn't mean to hurt you, Kirk said again, barely audible. Stop saying that, Rashida screamed, and this time the tears broke through. Every time you say that, it means nothing. You didn't mean to cheat. You didn't mean to lie. You didn't mean to marry somebody else behind my back. What do you mean, Kirk? What do you ever mean? The crowd was silent again. This was no longer entertainment. This was a woman breaking, live, raw, unfiltered. Scrappy looked down, visibly uncomfortable. Even Jock was rubbing his temples like he had a headache from the drama. Carly Red, for once, stayed quiet, watching every move like she was scared to breathe too loud. And then Rashida did something no one expected. She took off her mic pack, placed it gently on the couch, and started walking off the stage. The host called after her. Rashida, you sure you wanna? She didn't even look back. She walked straight off set, past the cameras, past the cast, past the producers yelling, cut, Kate, and keep rolling. And she vanished behind the curtain. The doors slammed at a full minute of silence passed. Jasmine stood, grabbing her purse. I said what I said. Kirk stayed seated, stone silent. And in the control room, one producer whispered to another, we just lost her. For good this time. What happened next backstage would stun everyone even more, because Rashida wasn't gone. Not yet. Backstage, Rashida didn't collapse. She didn't cry into her hands or scream at the crew. She didn't break down like they expected her to. Instead, she stood in front of the mirror in the green room, breathing heavy, silent. Eyes locked on her reflection like she was studying a stranger. Her makeup was still perfect, but her soul felt like it had been torn in half. An assistant tiptoed in. Rashida, are you okay? Get out, she said softly. The door clicked shut. Rashida pulled off her heels, then her earrings. Slowly, like she was shedding armor. Her hands shook, but her face stayed calm. It was the kind of calm that comes after the final betrayal. Not confusion, not panic, just realization. Outside the room, cameras were still rolling. Producers whispered into headsets. Kirk was still sitting in stunned silence. Jasmine had left the building. But nobody moved toward Rashida. No one knew what she'd do next until she reappeared, barefoot, eyes dry, but voice sharp as a blade. She walked back onto the stage mid-commercial break, and everyone, cast, crew, audience, froze, like a ghost had returned. Even Kirk blinked, like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Run the cameras," she said. "I got something to say." The host looked at producers, unsure. One nodded. "We're live in 10. Rashida didn't wait. "No, we go now." The screen faded back in as Rashida stepped center stage, mic in hand, facing the audience. "Since y'all watching this like it's a game show," she said, "let me give you the truth." Kirk stood slowly approaching her. "Ra, maybe we do this. Sit down." He sat. "I gave Kirk 20 years of my life," Rashida continued. 20 years. I gave him forgiveness when he didn't deserve it. I stayed after he embarrassed me on TV, in blogs, in real life. I helped him build businesses. I let him back in my house, in my bed, in my heart, and he married someone else. The crowd murmured. Some clapped. Some gasped. So to every woman watching this who stayed too long for a man who wasn't even man enough to tell the truth, I see you. Tears shimmered in her eyes, but she never broke. And to Jasmine, she turned to the camera, not even saying her name with malice. You didn't win. You think having Kirk makes you the one. Baby, you've got the leftovers. The version of him that lost everything good when he lied. The crowd roared in the back. A few crew members were holding their mouths. Hey, even Big Tigger looked emotional. Spice whispered she killed that to Bambi. Kirk stood again, trying to plead. Rashida, listen. It didn't mean nothing. Don't insult me. Not again. She walked past him, straight to the side of the stage, and just before she stepped off, she turned back around. This was your last lie. We done. Then she walked away. But this time, she didn't slam the door. It was soft, final. The screen faded to black for a commercial. But the internet had already erupted. At Queen Rasheeda, she walked back out like a warrior. That's Queen energy. At Team Rashida, the way Kirk just sat there like a roach under a spotlight. At MESSYBOOTS TV, Rashida gave the speech of the decade. I'm crying real tears. On set, Kirk stayed behind after taping ended. He sat with his head in his hands. Not even Jasmine was there anymore. She had vanished after the reveal, probably off to enjoy her moment. Or maybe to avoid the backlash. He knew the cameras were gone now, but his marriage was gone. Two producers debated whether to air the entire THS. Like, pray die, look, pray lie lay, like, look at this. And we all know. I've been exploring, like, with third. And we all know I've been exploring that path. Or maybe to avoid the backlash. He knew that we took us with Sir, as we knew what cameras were in where we said, but we knew what we said by so flow shade to me. We said pre-tab producers, command, quote, pre-tab per waste kabood we say, can we at? Can we with CY, can we all to F add, we see seaweed at a seaside, a go to I could get a studuri that a sui I to I with to we I've side, a sui we to I get gritty use so I can we to cake to the to we I to cafe to I to do I could I could think by you could go with the decade we keep can it think I oh yeah click to with it the good segments unedited. Some were nervous. It was too raw, too real, but one exec made the final call. Air all of it. K-Pol need to see this. K-Pol, what happened that night wasn't just drama. It was the breaking of something sacred. A love that had been bruised for years finally snapped. Not with screaming or swinging, but with a whisper and a walk dash off. What nobody saw, though, was what happened later that night. Rasheeda was spotted leaving the studio lot alone, but a phone call changed everything. Carly Red, who had stayed behind to collect her things, got a call from Jasmine. She picked up out of curiosity. But what Jasmine said left her stunned. "I didn't mean to ruin her," Jasmine told her. "I just wanted to finally feel like he was mine." Carly was silent, but now he's nobody's. "What you mean?" Carly asked. Voice low. Jasmine hung up. 30 minutes later. Kirk's assistant found him passed out in his trailer. Not drunk. Just broken. The medics were called. But he refused treatment. "Just leave me alone," he said. Nobody knew what came next. Rasheed. I didn't speak to press. Didn't go live. Didn't post a thing. She just vanished into her silence. And Kirk, he was about to realize that losing Rashida on live TV wasn't even the worst part. Because there was still more. And someone else was about to drop another bomb. The morning after the reunion aired, the internet was on fire. Clips of Rashida's final words had gone viral on every platform. Blogs had uploaded reaction videos. TikTokers were reenacting the scene like it was a movie monologue. The phrase, "you got the leftovers," was now a trending audio with over 500,000 uses. Memes of Kirk sitting in silence flooded the timeline. At shade_room_addict posted a photo of Kirk with the caption, "When you realize you married the side chick and lost the queen." But while the internet was laughing, Rashida was silent. Not a word, not a story, not a like. Her Instagram had gone completely dark until 3:33 p.m. when a post dropped. It was a black screen, just text, white letters. One sentence. A woman who walks away quietly is the loudest woman in the room. Over 1 million likes in an hour. Celebrities flooded the comments. "Trina, you better walk." Monica strengthened silence. "I love you, Ciara. You're not alone." Even Candy Burros commented, "He lost something priceless." But what nobody expected was who spoke next. Because Jasmine went live. Without makeup, no filter, just sitting in her bedroom, eyes red, voice low. She looked nervous. Not the confident woman who'd walked onto that reunion stage. "I didn't do this to hurt nobody," she said. "I did this because I've been living in the shadows for years. People dragged me like I was a homewrecker, a thought, a side piece. But I didn't make Kirk leave. He left long ago." The chat was brutal. Comments flew in nonstop. "Girl, shut up. You knew what you was doing. Now you want to play victim." Jasmine pressed on. "I never said I was perfect. But what I didn't expect was to be left out in the cold. After the reunion aired, Kirk hasn't answered my calls. He ain't come home. He ain't said nothing." Then her voice broke. "He left me too." People watching were shocked. Jasmine held up her phone, showing texts she'd sent to Kirk since the reunion aired, all left on read. Then she pulled out her ring. "He told me this meant forever," she whispered. Guess forever ended the moment it went public. Backstage betrayal had turned into front page fallout. Kirk was ghosting Jasmine. But it got worse. Carly Red went live just 1 hour later, not from her house, but from a restaurant patio. And she wasn't alone. Beside her, Rasheeda. Looking calm, collected, sipping lemon water like she'd been planning her comeback all along. "So, since everybody want to talk," Carly said into the camera, "let's really talk." Rashida looked straight into the lens. "Not gonna bash nobody. Not Kirk. Not Jasmine. They're already doing that themselves." Comments exploded. "She got time today. She's serving class and revenge. Skizzes, how you win. How you win." But what I will say, Rashida continued, is that marriage license wasn't the only thing Kirk was hiding. Carly chimed in. "Tell sis." Rashida leaned forward. While Jasmine was posting her little ring, Kirk was setting up a whole other apartment for someone else. "And I got the lease papers." Gasps. virtual ones. Carly pulled out a manila envelope and opened it live. Inside, a lease signed by Kirk Frost, dated 3 months after the wedding, for a one-bedroom condo in Midtown Atlanta. Under a fake business name. Ask him who lives there, Rashida said. Because it sure as hell ain't Jasmine. Within minutes, blogs had screenshots. Fans started digging. And in less than 30 minutes, they found her. A fitness model named Zuri Bell, light-skinned, long curly hair, 27 years old. Followed Kirk. Didn't follow Jasmine or Rashida. And her latest story, a view from the exact same Midtown apartment balcony. Rasheeda just sat back, letting the internet do the dirty work. At Uncovered DTEA, Kirk got 3 women tangled and none of them knew about each other. At Truth Hurts, Rashida just delivered the final blow and smiled through it. At Justice for Rasheeda, this man didn't just fumble the bag, he burned the whole empire. Jasmine deactivated her account hours later. Zuri locked hers, and Kirk. He finally posted a statement. It was a black background. White text, I never meant to hurt anyone. I made mistakes. I'm taking time to reflect and work on myself. Please respect our privacy. No apology to Rasheeda. No denial, no ownership. And that's when the final twist came in. A whistleblower, a former production assistant from the reunion, leaked a voice note. A private conversation recorded backstage minutes before Jasmine revealed the marriage certificate. In it, Kirk saying the words, "We gotta get this over with. Once she finds out, it's done. I just need it aired so I can move on. She ain't going nowhere anyway." The clip was posted to a fan page and reposted by gossip sites. Within minutes, the internet exploded. At Traproom Tea, he planned this for TV ratings. At Messy Truther, he said Rashida wasn't going nowhere. Look at her now. Rashida didn't respond, but she didn't have to, because the next morning, picture leaked of her walking into a lawyer's office with documents in her hand and a smile on her face. The photo was clear. Rasheeda, dressed in all black, walking through the glass doors of Atlanta's top celebrity divorce law firm. The expression on her face, peaceful, determined, like a woman who'd finally laid her burdens down and picked up the pen to write her own ending. The internet didn't need confirmation. The picture said it all. At the glow-up files, when a woman chooses peace over pain, the whole world feels it. At Rasheeda.army, divorce lawyer, no caption needed. At LHHATL watchdog, looks like Kirk really thought she wasn't going nowhere. Welp, within an hour, TMZ confirmed it. Rashida had officially filed for divorce from Kirk Frost. What made the filing even more explosive was the paperwork itself. Someone leaked a portion of the documents online, and in them, Rashida wasn't just asking for separation. She was demanding a full audit of all joint businesses, assets, and property. Translation. She was coming for everything. From their boutiques to their real estate, their reality TV royalties to Kirk's publishing income. She wanted transparency. And she wasn't walking away, empty-handed. But that wasn't all. The documents also revealed that Rashida had proof Kirk used company funds to finance Jasmine's lifestyle, paying her rent, covering her car note, and even buying her an engagement ring, all through the Frost family business account. Fans were stunned. At Rasheeda, a lawyer up. This man was spending her OWN money on his side chick turned wife. Nah. At tea is boiling. I hope she drains him dry. He earned it. Team Rashida. Run the books. Run the receipts. Run the whole man over. The betrayal was deeper than anyone imagined. And now, the legal fire was officially lit. Kirk, blindsided, posted another vague message on Instagram. I'm not perfect. I'm learning. Growth takes time. Mistakes don't define us. The comments weren't having it. Mistakes don't involve weddings. Growth don't involve secret condos. You ain't learning. You just got caught. Jasmine, still off social media, was now in hiding. Insiders said she had packed her things and left Atlanta. Some claim she went to stay with family. In Houston, others said she was in Miami with a cousin trying to avoid paparazzi, but the internet doesn't forget. And Rashida. She wasn't done yet, 3 days after the lawyer photo dropped. She did something no one saw coming. She launched a limited edition clothing collection named Leftovers. The promo image, Rashida standing in front of a trash bin labeled 2024, wearing a jacket that read, "Never his, always mine." Sold out in 17 minutes. At Style with Shade. She turned heartbreak into a whole brand. Businesswoman behavior. At Kirk regrets he married Jasmine and gave Rashida $1 million moment. The irony. But Kirk wasn't staying quiet anymore. He agreed to sit down for an off-camera interview with a local Atlanta podcast called Realer Than Real. The host, trying to give him space to explain, asked, "Do you regret marrying Jasmine?" Kirk hesitated, then said, "I regret not handling things differently." That was it. He didn't deny the apartment, didn't deny the receipts, didn't deny the voice note. But he still couldn't bring himself to say the words everyone wanted to hear. "I messed up, lost her." Instead, he fumbled through vague phrases about confusion and timing and privacy. But the final nail was yet to come. A former employee of Frost Bistro, a young woman named Tasha, reached out to a gossip site with a voice note and screenshots. What she claimed? That Kirk had also been seeing her. She said they had a brief relationship for months, and that Kirk promised he was divorcing both women and starting over with her. The voice note played Kirk's voice saying, "Ain't nobody solid like you. Jasmine, crazy. Rashida, don't see me. You're the only one who understand me. The internet broke. At Kirk Frostgate. You had 3. At Team Rashida. He needs therapy, not TV. At Burn That Marriage License. At this point, Jasmine, Rashida. And Tasha need a group chat without him." Rashida didn't even respond to this one. She didn't need to. The next day, she posted a silent vlog, walking through her new boutique space under construction. No captions, just soft music. Her smile, it was clear. She had moved on. The show producers, realizing this saga had taken over the entire franchise, announced a surprise follow-up special titled Rashida, Final Word, slated to air in 2 weeks, 1 hour. No Kirk. No Jasmine. Jas, Rasheeda. Her story. Her version. Her closure. The trailer was only 15 seconds long. Just her sitting in front of a white backdrop, staring into the camera. He thought I wouldn't leave. He thought I wouldn't find out. He thought I wouldn't survive. Cut to black. Fans went wild. At Queen Rasheeda. I'm watching with popcorn and a prayer candle. At Shabetterwin, give this woman an Emmy, a Tony, and a Bet Award. Kirk, meanwhile, had gone completely silent again. And Jasmine, well, she had one more surprise of her own, and it was the kind that could flip everything upside down. The internet had barely settled from Rashida, as sold-out clothing drop and the announcement of her 1-hour special when another bomb dropped out. Of nowhere, a blurry but very real sonogram photo surfaced and attached to it. A post from Jasmine's newly reactivated Instagram. No caption, just the image. The location tag said Atlanta Women's Center and the date on the sonogram matched. Exactly 1 week after the reunion aired, immediately, speculation exploded. Was Jasmine pregnant? And more importantly, was it Kirk's? Adwentha Diverflows? You telling me Kirk married Jasmine, ghosted Jasmine, and now my Tove gotten Jasmine pregnant? No way. At Rashida Deservacial, she went from wife to ghost to baby mama again in 3 weeks flat. This can't be real life. A Kirk Frost fan clodist. And this man wanted privacy. The comments under Jasmine's post were ruthless. Some people showed support, others dragged her into the dirt. But she didn't say a word until the following night. When she went live again, this time, her face was calm. Tired? Yes. Swollen eyes. No lashes, No makeup. Just raw. I know everybody talking, and I know what y'all saying. She started. But I just want to tell my truth before it gets twisted again. The chat exploded with comments. Is it Kirk's? Are you sure? I know, girl. You ain't tired? Jasmine looked into the camera and said it plainly. Yes, I'm pregnant, and yes, it's Kirk's. The chat went wild. Jasmine nodded slowly. He don't know yet. I haven't told him, because after everything that happened, I don't even know if I want him to know. This statement shocked fans even more. I love that man, she said. More than I should have. I thought marrying him meant he finally saw me, that he chose me. But I think he just needed to feel like he could control something. She sniffed, wiping her face. Now I'm carrying a child, and I don't even know if I want him in our lives. Okay, but Jasmine wasn't done. I got nothing against Rashida. She didn't deserve none of this, right? And I know I made mistakes, but I ain't gonna raise this baby in no lies. The live ended there, and once again, the internet spiraled into chaos. But while fans were arguing about Jasmine and Kirk's alleged baby, Rashida stayed silent until her 1-hour special aired. It was raw, elegant, devastating, no dramatic music, no wild editing. Just Rashida in a studio telling her story. I didn't know about the marriage. I didn't know about the condo. I didn't know about Jasmine's pregnancy until the internet told me. She blinked back tears. People think being quiet means you weak. But sometimes silence is the only shield you got when your whole world collapses. She talked about being embarrassed on national TV, about holding Kirk down through bankruptcy, scandals, cheating, and humiliation. About forgiving him for things no woman should have to forgive. I thought I was staying for the kids. But really, I was staying because I didn't believe I deserved better. And then she looked right into the camera. But I do. It's a final shot. Rashida standing in front of her new boutique. Hammer in hand, smiling, strong, free, fans called. It's the most powerful moment in love and hip-hop history at RASHEEDA Queen. This woman turned pain into power. At TVLINEOFFICIL, Bet needs to give this its own series. At Kirk, he thought she was going to crumble. Instead, she glowed up. And Kirk. He finally broke his silence again. A week after the special aired, he posted a black and white video of himself sitting on his studio floor. He looked exhausted, no haircut, no jewelry, just a man who lost it all. I hurt people, he said. I let my ego lead me. I betrayed someone who stood beside me through everything, and now I'm sitting with that. The comments were cold. Too little. Too late. But what really stunned everyone, the final plot twist. Jasmine deleted her sonogram. Post. Then uploaded a new video. A screen recording of a DNA paternity test. The lab results clearly showed Kirk Frost, not the biological father. The internet paused, then screamed at Jasmine Gate. She really said psych. At Wrong Babong Man, I take back my sympathy. Y'all both toxic. At Plotho Kensigan. Wait, so who is the daddy then? Jasmine didn't reveal that part. Not yet. But one thing was certain. Kirk lost RASHEEDA. Jasmine lost Kirk. And the only person who truly won is the woman who walked away and never looked back. If you made it this far, phew! The drama, the lies, the receipts, it was all too real. But let's be honest, this story ain't even over. Jasmine's baby scandal just took a wild left turn. Kirk's silence is suspicious, and Rashida, she's walking away like a queen in heels made of revenge. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Kirk deserves a second chance? Jasmine clout chasing or genuinely heartbroken? And should Rashida ever look back or keep moving forward for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we're reading everything. Don't forget to like if this exposed everything you needed and subscribe for more messy updates, leaked voice notes, and the next chapter of this love and hip-hop meltdown. This ain't the end. It's just the beginning. See you in the next one.